You called me, I guess a couple of days, about 2 weeks ago, and you told me, and I wasn't able to make the screen because you were doing it in New York. But all I got on my timeline was how after everybody got finished with when they see us, we needed something else to be on the other side of the spectrum. And I guess I don't know if it was happenstance or just such a well told story, but people are really raving about the story and your kind of vision of it.
Well, thank you. I think you're right. There's absolutely an appetite for it. I mean, part of it is it's a tribute to Clarence, but it's also a tribute to Black excellence.
Now, why do you say that?
Well, because in this movie, we hear from all these people whose lives have been touched by Clarence Avant, and the list is insane. Mm-hmm. So,
like who? Name some of the people.
Okay, just in sports, right? You've got Jim Brown, Hank Aaron, Muhammad Ali. Then you got in music, you got Quincy Jones, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, L.A. and Babyface. And then you got Snoop, you got Puff, you got Ludacris. And then in politics, you got Andy Young. And then, he helped Jimmy Carter. Then you got Bill Clinton on camera. You got Barack Obama on camera. So you just go, wait a minute. Is there any major field of endeavor this man hasn't
What does
touched?
he do? What was his gig? What was his job? I mean, it was the music industry primarily, but what was his vocation?
He made things happen.
Right.
And as Jim Brown says, he says, Jim Brown was playing for the Browns, and this guy shows up and says, hey, you want to, be in movies? And he's like, I didn't know who this guy was. I don't know if he was an agent, a manager, or a lawyer. In fact, I still don't know.
Well, Jim really doesn't know.
But the point is, Clarence literally makes things happen. And I'll give you a story which kind of is a perfect summary of him. Like, there's a guy interviewed named Zach Horowitz, and he ran MCA Records.
Right.
But at the time, it was the beginning of his career. He was a little baby lawyer.
Right.
And he told me this story about E.T., the extraterrestrial,
right,
directed by Steven Spielberg. And he said, it was a very successful film. I go, yes, I know. And then he says, and it was so successful, they did a storybook album that was produced by Quincy Jones, executive produced by Steven Spielberg, narrated by Michael Jackson. But the catch is,
and only one, and at least one of them is indicted now. You know that.
So the thing is that the album came out on MCA.
Yeah.
But Michael was signed to Sony, but he didn't ask for permission. He just did it.
Right.
So Sony loses their mind. So it's a huge lawsuit. Mm-hmm. So there's this big conference room. All the lawyers from Sony are there. All the lawyers from MCA. Michael Jackson's attorneys, Steven Spielberg's attorneys, Quincy Jones' attorneys. Then you look around.
There's a lot of Jewish people in that room. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
And then there's Clarence Avant.
Yeah.
So Zach leans over to his boss and goes, that's Clarence Avant. Why is he in the room? Who's he represent? And the guy without blinking goes, oh, Clarence? He represents everybody.